There's a quiet epidemic spreading across America. It's one of the fastest-growing diseases in the country, but most people don't feel it coming. Millions are already living with it, completely unaware of the slow, steady damage happening inside their bodies.
Because it doesn't arrive with a sudden crash. It moves quietly and without warning. So, let's explore this silent disease and understand how it spreads, so often unseen. So, how is that possible? How can a disease damage millions so silently and without any warning? Well, the answer is in its very nature. It's quiet and it's deceptive.
You see, in the early stages, there isn't any pain. There are no obvious symptoms. Life just carries on as usual. But all the while, inside the body, something is changing. Blood sugar is quietly and relentlessly rising.
In this process, it's not harmless. It's slowly damaging the body's most critical systems: the blood vessels, the nerves, the kidneys, the eyes, and the heart. The difficult truth is that for many, by the time the diagnosis finally comes, the damage has already begun.
But here's the thing. This wasn't inevitable. To understand how we got here, we have to look at the path to illness. A path that, for so many, was not an accident.
No, the rise of diabetes is not an accident. Its trajectory has closely followed the patterns of modern life, specifically the rise in obesity and sugar consumption. Think about how life has changed. First, our diet shifted. We're now surrounded by ultra-processed foods, sugary drinks, and refined carbs. At the same time, constant snacking has become the norm for many. Then you add in a decrease in physical activity and a sharp increase in chronic stress. Taken all together, these changes have pushed the human body to its limits. And over time, it begins to lose its fundamental ability to process sugar.
Now, before the full diagnosis, there's a crucial stage, one that is often misunderstood and easily dismissed. It gets framed as a harmless warning, but is that what it really is?
A big part of the danger here is that prediabetes just feels harmless. When people hear the words, "your numbers are slightly high," there's often a sense of relief. It doesn't sound urgent, and so it becomes very easy to ignore.
But the medical reality is something different. Prediabetes is not a warning sign. It's the disease itself in its early stages. It means the body is already struggling. The process is already underway.
And this leads us to a difficult truth. For the millions of people on this path, diabetes is no longer just a possibility. It is, for them, a matter of time.
So the question becomes, why don't people just change? Well, the answer goes far beyond individual willpower. We have to look at the tension between the individual and the environment.
So often, the conversation turns to personal responsibility. We hear the advice, eat better, exercise more, control yourself. But this advice often ignores a larger, more difficult truth.
Because when unhealthy food is cheap and everywhere, when chronic stress is constant, and when time itself is limited by demanding schedules, personal discipline alone is often not enough. The environment can produce illness faster than individuals can possibly escape it.
And finally, we need to understand that this is not an isolated problem. This is a crisis that's connected to so many others. One single illness with many dangerous links.
Because diabetes doesn't exist on its own. It sits right at the intersection of our industrial food system, our modern consumer culture, our mental health, and heart disease. It has become a central link connecting these major American crises.
It often acts as an accelerant. It feeds heart disease, it can worsen depression, it damages circulation, and ultimately, it shortens lives.
This disease is quiet. It is widespread, and it is fundamentally changing the future of American health. But the lifestyle that fuels it is, for many, not just a series of choices. It's a compulsion. In the next episode, we'll explore addiction, not just to drugs, but the addictions hidden inside modern American life.